whatever happens, it should be quite fun to watch, but I'm very curious how he's going to slot in and how it could impact the other players on the team.
One thing we didn't even mention also is SK, in terms of fan base, SK is Brazil, right? Like, they represent the country, so I wonder how that is, what the thoughts of the Brazilian fans are, that they have an American playing on their team as well. I'd love to, I mean, feel free to tweet me, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on that. No P250 for this SK Gaming side. I would have liked to have seen Stewie on one since he's in the mid position. And he hasn't... Has he bought anything? Has he got $800 in the bank? Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's not a good start, is it?
That's a...
Saving for AWP, of course.
It's a sweet first round.
Saving to drop cold stuff in the next round.
Get on Cold's good side.
Pick up that P250, man. Anyway, SK slowly moving towards the B bomb site. Cloud9 just lie in wait.
So the old B rush. Really strong. Tarak will hold his steps. Tarak's a pretty big player in this position because it's his job to shave off 1 or 2 players to make this retake doable. Let's see if he can get something. Ooh, there's one. Still no response to Tarak. Eventually, Cold0 will get him. So 1 for 1. That's actually not horrendous from Tarak there. So now it's going to be down to Cloud9 to go for the retake. Cold0 with the bad plants.
4-on-4 retake. FNS has a defuse kit, but can he get close to the site? Stewie underneath the balcony. There goes Cold0 as well. Fallen quickly dispatched of, and Fur will be the last man standing. And indeed, it is a bad plant, which means he can't defend it from the vent position. And the bomb will be easily diffused at that point. Nice 1-tap, nice 2-tap from Fur, but the round is with Cloud9.
You don't call it bad plant, Sean?
I completely agree. Bad plant. Based on what I just saw, he would have won the round.
Yeah. It was strange as well because there's no reason to plant that. He actually had a completely clear sight. It's very stuff like that's very surprising when you see it from the best in the world.
Yeah.
But we actually had a long drawn-out conversation about the terminology, and I think Lornas was in disagreement that that could be considered a default plant.
Could it be that he had a brain fart due to English? They were communicating in English.
Could be, yeah. Could be, yeah.
Just trying to think about things.
Pistols for the SK Gaming side. First got some Kevlar, presumably from the previous round since he didn't die. And, or did he die? No, he didn't die. Cold0 has full armor. Stewie getting close, not really getting anything done. So it seems he was sent in as a sentry for that round, didn't quite work out. I think we have Inferno next, and I'm very curious to see how the T side will work for SK, especially between Stewie and Fur, who does what, because Stewie's very good at being an aggressive lurker, for example, like dealing with an area on his own. So I wonder, because it's all about freedoms, right? But you can't have everybody having freedom at the same time, like when Phelps was on the team. I think it was Fur, it compromised his freedom because Phelps was a very aggressive player, and Stewie is another Phelps in that respect. So if it didn't work with Phelps, how will it work with Stewie?
It's really strange. I mean, that's kind of the thing. I mean, the team just has to go in a different direction with Stewie, surely, just entirely. I mean, well, it's gonna be interesting to see how they tackle the problems. I mean, I'm sure they thought about it a lot.
I think one of the cool things is that when you on Cloud9, especially on the CT Mirage, there was that extra gear that Stewie would bring, where if things were going wrong, he would pick up an AWP, start to get aggressive round connector kind of thing. So in that sense, once they start to settle and gel, perhaps there will be some more aggression to be had. So that flashbang, Mouse Sports used to throw that. A very old iteration of Mouse Sports. There are windows in the roof of T Warehouse, but that goes down the middle line, which allows Stewie to push at the same time without being blind. Very specific flashbang there. Don't see that very often.
Good nade by Ska though. Like he timed that nade on team mid. That's why Stewie has 62 HP. That was a banger.
Not bad, not bad. Getting some info again, just checking as safely as he can. Some of the shallow angles into mid. And so right now Cloud9 know that they're being held, or rather that mid is being held by SK, and SK are just waiting. This is something that SK do, and oh, thank God. I love seeing the highway smoke when you get the mid-take, because teams sometimes just try to take it like a raw peek towards the A bomb side from white box without that smoke, and that smoke just makes things so difficult for the CTs. Are they going to pop flash through it? Are they going to set up a B split? What is happening?
Automatic spotting some players. The pop flash from Rush, and in goes Automatic. He's going to try and create some space for his team, but he's unable to do that. And now SK are swarming over the A side, but Rush is delivering the kills. He gets 2 out of that. He needed 2, and he got 2. And he keeps his team in the game, 3 versus 2, as the bomb is the only person on the site. The bomb carrier bolts. He plants it open. FNS coming in from the main position.
Really interesting spot here for coldzera to play with. And Tarek, because he is kind of checking it, but not fully. And coldzera will have him. They're still able to get the kill on the bomb sides, but coldzera now turns his attention over there with the Galil. And this may be a bit difficult. He doesn't really have any way to stop this. Cloud9 with a successful retake. Very well done.
Yeah, really patient. A lot of FNS to get on the flank. FNS upgrades to the AK. Went that huge one-on-one at quad.
There's an alternative smoke, which you don't really see used for this purpose, but from outside A, you can smoke between the wall and the box on the A site instead of smoking short, which leaves it, like if you have a sniper on quad, which is a common occurrence, it still takes vision away from them, but it allows you to move into the site. Conversely, it also allows people to peek from barrels, which can be a strong position, like around the forklift area, but I think that's something we might see in future from teams in that kind of scenario. SK trying to play the numbers game towards the B bomb site. So far, not so good. Molotov is down, and so is the bomb. coldzera will take Tarek out. So that's opened the B bomb site. But while they look for CTs, they will have to get to the site now. There is an angle towards headshot from upper, which is what Fallen's looking for. Spotting the player there, and coldzera needs to cover the headshot position, but he's unable to do so. 2 players taken out, the bomb planted. So I would say it's a successful round for SK.
I kind of liked that we saw straight away from SK, I think the first buy round, the delayed mid take into the highway smoke, and that they showed that they're willing to just go straight away for an A split, which sort of is the first thing. Now, if they see a highway smoke after mid control, Cloud9 they'll likely expect that to be the play first of all. So I do wonder how many more times we're going to see that kind of a rounds or opening to a rounds, and then how the fork of decision making will take shape afterwards.
Yeah, they actually had the right play too, because Scott rotated spawn towards the B site, so they had like a 2-on-4, 2-on-5 at the A bomb site.
Yeah, Rush did an insanely well good job defending, and now we actually get an aggression on B storage. I mean, not too uncommon for the CTs to be throwing an aggression. It's more and more commonplace. And it's going to give them the 5v4. And I like the boost into mid. This is quite cool. And it's really cool. I really enjoy it when teams do that too, because you can often catch the B lurker just like very early when they're not anticipating it.
That spin was very close.
The other cool thing about this is that after getting that kill and then putting someone into the vents, it makes this delayed mid take a bit weaker for SK, and the delayed mid take with 4 players left is one of the best options that they have.
Yeah, because when you take back that B area, you have to make noise, which then alerts Cloud9 that you're working towards B. So then by that time, you can shift people to the B side. So it's like Cloud9 can then use this 30 seconds of the round to defend a mid take because of that early kill on B.
Yeah, it's actually going so perfectly for them right now. This is really cool from Cloud9.
Rush with a foot fetish looking through the smoke, but not finding anything. FNS forced away from the forklift position, and doing first things, taking Tarek down. There is Rush taking out from the NBK position, and they will regress towards that fork area with FNS. 3-on-3 as they fight for control of the site. There are 20 seconds to get the bomb down, and they're trying to do so. First, still pressuring FNS, trying to get more bullets left. He was running out. Manages to get his reload in, though. FNS still causing a problem. 12 seconds now. Somebody told them that the bomb had to go down. FNS forcing its way through the flames. What a hero. 7 seconds. Plot the bomb, SK. What a save from Stewie 2K. The clutch master. That was nasty and much needed. Very nice round there towards the end from Stewie.
I just love how we saw this like 30-second 1v1 between Fire and Finesse, and then Finesse wins it.
So that's the thing is, like, I literally think we're going to see a lot more rounds like this out of SK with this iteration of the lineup, right? It's going to be a lot less Tactical a lot more scrappy because they're back to like this 2 aggressive player style with Stewie and Fur that are playing loose, and you'll see that. Like you'll see them scrap out rounds like that now.
It makes sense, and maybe there's long-term merit to that.
If it works, as the phrase goes. It's almost like a UK builder phrase.
It's one of those things too where like that style of play, it's more relevant depending, or less relevant depending on the other teams that are at the top and how they play. You know, for the starters in matchups and so on. And right now the top scene's really strange. You got Mousesports and Astralis, and it's kind of like weird now. Like we're SK, we're a FaZe, we're a Cloud9.
Sean, do you have a perfect Molotov for the forklift position as a T?
Where's that, from door?
Just anywhere.
Yeah, I feel like you could throw it from door.
What about from main?
That'd be pretty difficult because if you bounce off the wall, the guy could hide on the far side.
You need Spartov Molotov. Sean, guess.
Why did I just get sold that?
Perfect Spartov Molotov from behind the smoke every single time in main. It's so easy. Cloud9 on pistols. This is a dangerous round for SK. They are not making, they're not hiding the fact that they've got players around A. This is the smoke I was talking about earlier, by the way. When you've got mid control, I think there's something to be said for that. But we could talk about that later because the split starts to come in from SK, moving up the highway position. But the police are lurking. There's Stewie through the door, some pre-fire from him. 18 seconds, slow and methodical from SK. 2 plays remaining for Cloud9. Make it 1, FNS. Has he spotted coldzera? Perhaps not, but he gets a kill somehow anyway. See if he can hold on to the AK-47. Nope! Second round in a bag for SK.
Quite nice to see the highway split on the A site for the anti-eco. It's quite a bit novel, but it's cool because you won't need as many grenades. You won't have to throw as many mollies, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like the idea of splitting highway and door like that and smoking off quad, mauling fork. So you run out looking into A main, like the highway guys can look into sight. Kind of a unique way to take the A site right there.
I like it.
Pistols again for Cloud9. It's another round of CZ armor, just like before. So we'll see if they can get more out of this. We'll see if SK plays slow enough to give Cloud9 opportunity. And Stewie's gone for a quick peek and didn't see anything in main, but they must have seen him. Based on the angle, it was pretty close. This is a blind spot. This is a deep angle. You'll often see me trying to knife people from here when I'm on eco. So they'll have to be careful. You most certainly have to hard check that angle. And if you've got somebody at the entrance, actually where automatic is basically a bait for Rush. Although Rush is actually going to try and shoot someone. God knows why. I'd have my knife out.
Well, there's still time. Still time. 50 seconds left almost, and Fur is taking a peek into mids. And middle is, one of the safest places. You got pistols to deal with, so they're going to be more likely stacking around the site. Rush is in a very scary position. Will he find a good push timing, perhaps? So we're going to see the same split, but without main this time. That's quite cool.
It's almost like SK are assuming that they've got control with that flashbang, suggesting they're going to make a play in there. They're getting Cloud9 out of position. Maybe Stewie's like, okay, in this round, we would normally do this, and they've completely circumvented it.
This is a really good variation of the last anti-eco. I don't think I've ever seen this round actually before.
Yeah, they're like making a default out of just giving up A main and splitting door and highway right now. It's really cool.
That's actually a really novel way to answer the meta as well.
Yeah.
Because the CTs are so commonly just getting lockers control.
Yeah.
And this is a cool solution. I like it.
So you see those breeze blocks next to the boost position?
Yep.
That's where you do the Bardov Molotov from. So you crouch, right?
But then you have to cross A main.
If there's a smoke down.
But what we would do is put a smoke down. No, you're going to go there, and then we pre-fire it.
We can't.
But pre-fire it with what timing?
Anti-Bardov timing.
There is no anti-Bardov timing. I'm a flying turbulent.
A flying what?
In the words of Black Thought, I reside between the seconds of a chronograph. Come at me. Come at me. While you guys process my lyrics, which are not really my lyrics.
They're just literally...
Fallen, still trying, but not quite landing the shot. Maybe he'll get there eventually. 4-3, the score is close as both teams come into the bye. Cold Zero looking for anybody getting too aggressive. Skadoodle only needs one opportunity.
And this is another cool spot again, because you know we see SK. They're put in a position where they got their 4v5. They have a lot of time left. Obviously, Cloud9 don't need to really do anything special here. They can just try to hold the man advantage, or they can continue to play aggressive. Rush actually finds a frag, just catching Fur as he walked down into mid. We've seen Fur try to walk out into mid a couple times before. The side gets really punished. Everyone's just going down. I think when you lose that fourth player and you're down to 3 versus 5, you do just have to start taking some risks, but this is not going so well for SK. Very important round for Cloud9 to have everyone alive if they can. You can see the money is pretty bad for them, but if they do survive with 5.
Ska's actually been really impactful, considering he's probably hardly played any CS in the last 2 weeks.
Apparently, I think was it Skadoodle who hadn't been online for a week on Steam. I might be wrong about that. Anyway, 2 players left for SK. They can try to double peek or run distraction. Automatic taken down. Hello. 25 seconds left. Which way will they go? 2 players on the A site. Now, what can Stewie tell them about who's alive and where they're likely to be? Double peek. Bolts now, the last man standing. Has he got time to cross towards the site? He has. Goes to bad plant. No one in position to rush the headshot position and stop him from planting. 1 versus 2 on the site. No smoke to drop and jump on the box. Just got to stand there with the AK bolts. The Molotov may force him forwards. Skadoodle will get tagged, but he finishes the job. 3 kills for Skadoodle.
Many noodles must be being spammed.
2 AWP saves by Cloud9. So they're going to change the approach on the CT side for the rounds to come.
And I'm just sad that we're not going to see, like, if Skadoodle just like actually just go inactive for ages. I'm just sad that we won't see as much of him.
Skadoodle is awesome.
He is.
He is indeed.
I mean, he's probably. I mean, where do you rank him, like, Sean, as like a North American AWPer?
He's insanely good.
Because I feel like his ceiling is #1 easy.
I think so too, yeah.
But it's just like that consistency.
Dude, his clutches with rifling recently have been pretty nuts.
Yeah.
And his pistols and yeah, just I think his clutches are probably his best attribute as a player.
I don't remember the match when it was an Inferno. I don't know if it was 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3, but he did it like it was a nutty clutch.
I think you're talking in the major final now.
Maybe it was bonkers. I need to watch that back. Stewie is dead. Not where I was going with my sentence, but things can change pretty damn quickly. Rush playing around the smoke. Fallen's in trouble, but Cold will save him. Save the bacon for the barbecue. 3 on 3, they have to cross, and Skadoodle's there once again. The bombs on the floor can be collected. There are flashbangs galore. Skadoodle needs to stay alive. Cold Zero can't quite hit the mark. Not for the first time so far in this match. Now it's Bolt alone versus 2. Spots 1 player looking for the trade frag. Has no idea where the second person is, but he'll soon find out. There he is. None other than Skadoodle, though, to finish things off.
Scar is having quite the game so far.
Yeah.
That second AWP kill was really, really nice. I mean, that's always a nice one to hit, but then, like, worrying about the flank, he knows that he can get backstabbed. He's taking his time. It's beautiful stuff. Wow. I mean, it really makes such a big difference if your AWPer in your like the early rounds of your CT side picks up the AWP and it actually just
finds good form, yeah. Because then he has the confidence, yeah. I agree completely.
And then also like building the bank as well to like be able to easily grab a second one at some point is always nice too. It's quite funny too because like SK have run some very cool rounds. Like they've done a lot of cool stuff. They've had some of the scrappier rounds, had some more aggressive ones. I think Rush has been playing really, really well towards the A-bomb site so far too. Some damage here from SK.
Oh, sorry, it was Olafmeister who had not been online for a week, not Skadoodle. Thank you for the correction, internet people. 3 versus 2 for Cloud9, and they more or less have a surround on the B bomb site, but no presence inside the site. Got some unusual angles outside B, so when SK starts across, The smoke will most certainly help. Bolt's quickly making his way over. He's the bomb carrier, so they won't both go. But he's got to be careful of the player on the upper ground. Again, that's why he jumps like that, because if you're upper, you do have an angle on a headshot position. Speaking of which, he sees somebody make a play through headshot, and now it's fallen. Oh, that's a nice shot with the scout, but automatics there for the insta-trade with the MP9. Expensive round for Cloud9, but that is round number 7 on the board.
Yeah, SK's done a pretty good job of getting almost every round down to like 2 people.
Yeah.
So they're keeping Cloud9 low on economy, even on the rounds they lose. But it's getting to a point where they're going to start to need to string together some rounds, because Cash does tend to be a little bit T-sided. It's kind of like 50-50 actually, depending on how the pistols go.
Alright, so...
Oh, that's really annoying.
That is annoying.
The collision of the smoke grenade shortened FNS's smoke, which means that mid is wide open. And that's just, it turns out to be a smoke which the T's would sometimes put out themselves to then pop flash through to make a play into mid. That is one of the most annoying things about CSGO at the moment. But yeah, you decide if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But for me, as a player, especially on Cash, it's really irritating to get blocked by grenades like that.
Yeah, it's just too much of a random action. Wow. Wow.
Flicks are on today, baby.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, again, another like 4v5 for SK. SK rarely able to start off well due to the likes of Skadoodle. And feeling the pressure, feeling the presence. Tarek in the site always seen this smoke as, before.
Yeah,
this
this
is
is
a
what
very
I was
good one.
talking about earlier, but he will get absolutely wrecked, unfortunately. Too many angles held by SK. Oh my god, Skadoodle, what is wrong with you? 3 versus 2. The bomb is on the sides, but Skadoodle won't allow anybody to collect it. Now it's down to Fallen with the AK-47. 1 versus 2. Expecting somebody to maybe be by the tree. Sees the trajectory, but where is the second player? He knows one is outside, well, in the CT area, but where is player number 2?
Skadoodle is just disgusting, man. Oh my god. This should be an easy round for SK, but look where Fallen is. A 1v2 with the bomb planted. Can he get good timing on the peaks? It's been very difficult to spot it now. Surely the next peak comes down. Fallen still gets 1 frag, but the trade comes in. Very difficult spot to play from. And made possible by a ridiculous shot from Skadoodle. But he got 3 in the round anyway. Like, on the retake, that's just nuts. Absolutely nuts. And if we consider like the way that this round started, as you guys mentioned, like this gift from Finesse, where the smoke is too short, which is like this perfect spot for SK to take advantage of. Again, still. Oh, I forgot about this one.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oof.
That's a nice shot.
Recognizing
Not
that
as
one.
nice as that one. That is such a satisfying flick. But I feel like, I wonder if Skadoodle's playing it like he's got nothing to lose, man. How much investment does he have? I mean, he wants to rep his brand, right? But it's a casual game for Skadoodle. He's not really the kind of guy that you see in the casual games.
Tyler's a gamer.
No, but I mean like pugging.
Oh, no, he doesn't like pugging.
Yeah.
You're right there.
So what's his game of choice?
Tyler plays all games.
Man like Tyler.
Been trying to get him to play some Fortnite.
Mysterious force.
Do you prefer Fortnite over PUBG?
No, I like them both.
I have it on my mobile, but I haven't played it yet. But someone tried to log into my account, so I just got blocks.
Ooh.
Just got locked out. Not that I was logging in anytime soon necessarily, but there we go. Busy with Counter-Strike at the moment. Fallen off to a good start, and the door is open for SK.
Great position for Automatic, perhaps too much for them to worry about. SK can't really find the manpower to deal with Automatic in time before too much damage has been dealt, but still recovery is possible. Cold able to get a couple kills in return, and with 40 seconds remaining, there's plenty of time to get into the bomb site. But we do have Tarek slowly edging his way back into the quad position. He could find a pretty devastating timing if he catches SK just as they decide to make the move for the plant, which they have to surely soon. But they must be waiting here for a peek. Presuming that Cloud9 will try to confirm the information. That was a good timing, but it was not the frag. It was close. The Finesse is going to have to do it all 1v2, and you can't imagine he's going to come into a position that they would be surprised about. Let's see if they have it covered.
No one seems to be holding this angle, but they'll know what they're not exposed to. Cloud9 checking it every so often. Where's the second player, though? FNS being distracted, and Bolts will pop out from nowhere. Such is the nature of a 1 versus 2. Round number 4 for SK. None of them have a great spawn to go for a peek in mid with the AWP in this particular round. But against a team with a mixed buy, or maybe just pistols, you wouldn't necessarily want to, because sometimes you can get a lot of people in that middle area. Offering some haircuts has fallen, but nobody's engaging just yet. The CZs are out once again. Tarek, Automatic, FNS with the CZ75s. What do we think about these performances so far? Anything to read from?
I actually think if Cloud9 won that last round, they snowball this game. Because what happened is that SK started the game with mid takes, right? And it started working, and then Cloud9 played mid. And they countered when Rush played under the vent. And then Skadoodle started solo holding mid, which is their base set of like a 2-1-2. So that round, SK was like, let's not take mid anymore. It's not yielding any success. Stop that. Let's go straight into an A hit. Well, if that A hit failed, I think at that moment, SK loses the half big time. Because they have nothing to fall back on. But because they managed to grind out that round, now it's like anyone's game. So I think that was like a really big round, actually.
Ooh, I was about to say, this is a big opportunity for Automatic. The double is a possibility, but he can't quite get it. Goes to the reload. Might decide to spice things up here, but he will fall back with the AWP that he has collected. Nice shot there from Automatic, doing even more damage. Now down to 2 players, one of which critically weak. SK are in a hell of a lot of trouble.
They have time pressure as well. 20 seconds to breach the B bomb site and then go beyond that. Tarek at the back with the CZ, and that's a highly dangerous position. Fur with 6 HP. Does he cover while Bolts plants? This is going to end in disaster. There's almost no other option unless someone does something disgusting on this B bomb site for SK. Bolts moving into the headshot position, and there he goes. The bomb goes flying, and there just isn't time for Fur to win the round. Trying to save the AK-47, can't do that either. So that is indeed disaster for SK.
Wow, Automatic played that phenomenally well in middle right there. Just how he's able to get that kill, force the guy off, grab the off, reposition deep, and then get the second kill. Cold had no idea that Tim would have fallen back that far.
And that's a pretty interesting spot, because you said, previously, if they will rather had they won the round prior to that they would snowball the game. They get another opportunity to do so now that SK's economy is in the toilets.
It's in the dumpster, Dan. The dumpster.
It's in the dumpster in the restroom.
The American bin. It's funny though that Microsoft has recycle bin, right? But it's like, why isn't it like the recycle dumpster? I guess it's too long a word. SK with the numbers on the boost position. What is the play here? They are well equipped considering the round. They've got a lot of grenades, including Stu2K. He has a part to play in this story. He has a brush to paint the picture. He's doing the grass. Cold0 the trees. Bolts maybe puts the sun in there. Don't know what else is on there. FNS with the AK-47 at risk of losing it, and there's no one else to cover him.
Tarek in a great position. Starts things off well. He's got support there in Automatic. Automatic can help him cover for those players moving up the pass. What am I trying to say, James?
I don't know, Dan, but Automatic is holding around this smoke. Sees the bomb on the floor, and there's one player left. And he will do nothing either. Could have been worse with the AK-47 dropped in that mid position. Maybe something for a review of the blind spots there.
It's a very nice hold from Cloud9, and I think that they have a pretty good expectation, a pretty good read as to these plays, because SK have been doing these highway pushes quite commonly in this matchup so far. So it looks like right now Cloud9 look more and more comfortable. And interestingly, in a spot where Skadoodle's actually not playing as big of a part on the AWP, he's not been having one, and his teammates have really been picking up the slack.
Yeah, I think right there, that round, you saw the problem with door and highway splits is that it's very difficult to single out a guy hiding behind quad, because you can't molly behind quad, which is pretty much the only way you deal with that guy from A main. You molly there so that way everything's in front of you while running up to the site.
Nice Molotov from FNS to delay any early aggression from SK. And Cloud9 will tell SK, we have control of main. What you gonna do? This may delay things for SK as they may insist on retaking control of main. But will there be a resmoke? Rush is holding with a smoke. And there we go. That will sit nicely. Bolts holding the crack for the time being. And SK, they're not shy to play a slow round, so when this disappears, they'll still have a minute to play with. They've got no lurker outside the B bomb site, though. They seem focused on A.
I'll be curious to see how well, or not well, Cloud9 will be able to defend this. I mean, they've been putting so much emphasis on A main. Look, 2 smokes, automatics happy to pop flash, rush in there. Door open once again, flash surely thrown soon as the push will be coming in. Rush obviously waiting for that first.
Rush is in an awkward spot.
Okay, now flash perhaps.
Well, his teammate went to close the door, I think, so he wasn't in position to throw the flash. The flash will come eventually. He will spot the bomb as well. Waiting for that to open once again, but there's another flash for his teammate. They are so blind, they're running into the walls in main. 2 players left with these pistols. There goes the bomb again. Picking it up, dropping it. It's a hot potato. But now the oven's gone cold.
That was
11
so
to 4
sick.
for Cloud9.
Beautiful round.
That was such sick teamwork right there by Cloud9. I think that was what, Rush asking for flashes from Tim, and then Ska rotated in from Truck.
Yep.
That was so sick.
Really beautiful round.
He played that so patiently.
Yeah, the FNS by the car position throwing.
Oh, was it FNS?
He was E-box, yeah.
Okay.
Skadoodle was mid.
Okay.
And also the sort of cognizance as for the angles, not really showing himself to the door player as well, which could have been a potential problem. But Rush navigated it. He navigates those closed positions, those tight positions where you don't have much space to move. He manages that very well. It's very awkward, but he makes it look pretty good. And back to A with the Glocks here, but now it's Cloud9. SK on that CT side. Playing retake, pretty standard stuff. Just be careful not to get taken down, but he will be. Wow.
Wow. What are you doing in these pistol rounds? It's only good for 4 rounds though, so as flashy as it is, they need to convert. Fallen as a smoke and a diffuse kit. See how that plays out. No PT50s here for Cloud9, so they will be at a range disadvantage until things come close. Tarek is spamming everybody. Fallen and Cold. Fallen has left the smoke, and Skadoodle is trying to knife. He's on the bomb. Does he bring out the blade once again? He does! Oh, no, like this Skadoodle! He can't find the angle! The smoke is appearing, and he's diffused the bomb. What on earth is going on?
Oh my god.
Not like this.
Unreal.
Oh man. You hate to see it.
He went back and forth all over that whole time. And then when the actual defuse came in, he just couldn't find it.
Skadoodle line dancing in the smoke.
You're so helpless too when you're in the smoke sometimes because you can't see anything. Like it's just so. Sometimes it's so easy to lose your like awareness.
Yeah,
spatial
but it
awareness.
looked like he knew where he was the first time.
Yeah.
And then when the actual defuse came in, he lost it completely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Bardoff always gets a kill there. Always. That's why I equipped the Bowie. It's a bigger knife.
That's true.
Imagine if you could throw the knives like Soldier of Fortune 2. That'd be sick.
I don't know about that,
If
Dan.
anyone's
I don't know if that would be sick.
I
Actually.
disagree.
if anyone's old enough to remember that game.
Please don't give the devs any ideas, Dan.
That game was like the perfect blend of Counter-Strike and Quake. It was not. It was
Stop.
amazing.
Please stop, Dan.
You got lean in there as well. You can do lean around the corners.
That's Rainbow Six business.
You could prone even.
Do they lean in Call of Duty? I think they do.
Yeah, they do. They do right. Yeah, they do. Of course they do.
Sometimes we get glitches where we get to see people lean in CS:GO.
True.
It's nice.
Counter-terrorist win. Okay. On to the next round, and AKs can come out for Cloud9. And I'm curious. I always used to be very much a fan of opening these rounds with like, like a 110 mid take, just because you have the AKs, and it's really hard with the right grenades to really fight against that as the CTs with this loadout.
Yeah, I agree. I think mid control with AKs versus like this weird pseudo buy, you know, in like the 3rd round that the CTs have,
Yeah.
is super strong. I like what SK is doing right now. They played mid passive from highway to save grenades.
So we saw some spotting there from Fallen. He's not willing to engage, and can't blame him. With the MP9, he's at a significant disadvantage. Just wants to take a risk, find out what is going on in the mid area, spot some players there, and then he backs off. So 3 players around A, although Fallen is now making his way towards Z connector. And there are 2 players creeping up to the white box. It looks like a B split. So I wonder if they're going to offer some kind of fake. Showing some presence. And slowly moving back towards the vents.
Well, this could be quite a strong split from Cloud9 straight into the B-bomb side. If they keep the pace to it, they might be pretty good to go here. The only problem is these counter grenades. They're buying so much time to rotation. Oh, they're boosting out. This is actually really smart.
But look at Stewie. He's gone through this. Did he go through the smoke?
No,
Oh, no.
he's
Okay.
waiting.
So they will still hear footsteps. This is next level, but Fur is still in deep main and Volts is still by the car. So SK, one of the best teams at reading the game. See what they can make of this. Fur in main gets taken down. We've got Cloud9 players everywhere.
This is an amazing round from Cloud9. Great decisiveness to understand to just go straight through the vent and not have to like mess around to make that call. Everyone's on the same page. They moved at a good pace, just good enough. And now Cold and Stewie on the retake, 2v3 into A. It's not going to be fun. Stewie taking some additional damage. He's found himself an AK at least, but they don't have to really show themselves all that much. And it's just no time here for the SK players. And I'm going to have to back away. So Cloud9, awesome round.
I also think SK played that round really well too, though. Their reactionary smoke grenades to like cut off Cloud9 at every choke point, you know, like Cloud9 did try to go B right there. It's just they got smoked off at main and mollied in checker, and it just the hit completely crumbles at that point because you're completely like going from one facet, you know, of the B bomb site. So they back out smartly and go mid. Top highway gets counter smoked. I'm not sure actually who that was. Maybe Bolts.
Bolts, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's just that was an excellent flash that caught him in the middle of the open.
Again, guys, just a quick reminder, make sure your Faces account is linked to your YouTube account because there are drops through every game. So on Faceit, go to your integrations and link to your YouTube, and you'll be eligible for these drops, which are happening more or less every round. 12-6 in favor of Cloud9. In the driving seat for the time being here in the second half of the first match between these two sides. We have Inferno to come. That's sure to be explosive. Can SK make the comeback? It's been a rough start so far. Cloud9 looking for some aggression, perhaps, or looking to exhaust the resources, of course, of the CT side. Fallen keeping an eye on the mid area with the AWP. 2-1-2 set up for SK.
Stewie, ready, waiting. Well, never mind. Cloud9 will make their way forwards to the checker's control. There's always the threats that with so much time left, they may not be committing to a play onto B, but there's a lot of pressure, so SK need to respect that. Fallen will show himself, looking to see what is going on here, and it's not too clear. They don't have much mid presence, SK, but they would be able to see if they would be boosting through checkers. A good catch there from Fallen. Delayed take to the B side, not going so well here for Cloud9. Nice play rush, but the trade comes in. Life looking very difficult here for Cloud9, but still actually just doing just enough damage to get themselves in position to take the side, but can they defend here? And that's in the vent area, able to defend against Fur as Bolts now makes his move. So really critical 1v1 to win, and Bolts not liking the look of this, but there's no chance really for him as he begins to push through. Really rough situation for SK. I actually thought that they would be able to defend that, but their money has been completely crushed in the effort.
Yeah, when Fallen got that pick, and then Cold killed the guy left side checker, I think that was Tarek, it looked like the round swung to SK's favor. But yeah, Cloud9 just came in and got both trades immediately, which was super important to not allow them to like reset up in the site.
I was kind of surprised that the round in general was like this kind of weird, delayed triple B.
Yeah, it was like a
type
slow
attack.
siege on the B bomb site, right?
It's very strange, yeah. Seems to work out, but a strange one.
SK forced onto the save. As Cloud9 look for round number 14. Does not bode well. Automatic gets the burst on first, but not quite onto bolts. Maybe he'll have another opportunity. Fallen dancing around the forklift position. Taken out. One more player spotted on A. Still alive for now is bolts, making a nuisance of himself. But it's a 5 versus 2. Now it's Cold0 spotted around Z. Gets a 1D out of it. But ultimately, what is the meaning of it? The gun's too far away to collect. If you're Cold0 right now, this kind of sucks. 14-6, there it is. See what situation SK are in now. They are running out of rounds to lose.
Yeah, this is a tough position to find yourself in.
Yeah, and their utility isn't even that great. They all have M4s, no Molotovs. Not the best situation to be in right now.
Ooh, that was close. Okay, so 3 players walking towards B storage here for Cloud9. What is the plan? Rush over towards the door position. Skadoo with the bomb, waiting for someone to go onto the boost, perhaps anticipating some early aggression. That may just be the read here from Cloud9. They may disperse eventually from the B storage position and maybe leave just one player there. But they look like they are heavily expecting some kind of a push. I think Skadoo only just now is not covering the boost, counter boost anymore. Getting pressure towards B. And there's a minute left, and SK haven't made any moves here.
Oh, that is quite the apple.
Nice.
Quite the apple indeed. Very bitter taste. 45 seconds and so much noise towards B, but it will quickly go quiet, and Fallen seems to know what this means. Moving back towards the middle position, but there's nobody on the A site here. There's a smoke down from the T side. Do they want to fight it from the site itself, or what do they want to do? Cloud9 with 4 players in main. Sorry, 3 players. 25 seconds on the clock as this late split comes in. Fur out of position there, looking in both ways, and those are the A players taken out, wiped out by Cloud9.
That was an amazing round by Cloud9. Like that was,
I really like that, yeah.
that was a very, very well played round by them.
It's very methodical.
It was.
I love the double nade to headshot was actually really cool. It's like
Yeah.
getting lots of ideas of like
Triple
how you can use
molly checkers to basically clear out checkers. So then if there is only one guy in the site, when you triple nade through the window, which I think is what they did, he's going to be low in the site, that guy. So it almost forces a second guy B. You've made no presence at A the entire round, so they're likely to leave the A bomb site. You walk back to the A bomb site with that quad smoke just going up, and you split through highway. Like that was actually so well played. That was an amazing round by them.
they're playing lights out Counter-Strike right now. They're doing such a good job. Which is really cool considering, you know, just the changes that have happened in the team. They still look world class right now. We've seen some great stuff from SK, but it just, I don't know, it's 15-6 right now. Cloud9 have been playing well strategically, tactically, from a team play perspective. They've been playing great individually as well. It's hard to really to say anything negatively about their cash hit so far.
SK against match point now on cash again. Inferno is to come. Bolt's forced to use some of his utility early. Fallen looking for information again. Very lucky to get away with it. And mid has had to be abandoned. Cloud9 will ask questions of the B bomb site as well, but there is a very aggressive setup from the players towards B. Previously, Stewie was flashed off this position. This time he'll be shot off this position by his former teammates, and automatic is activated towards highway.
Wow, they're doing so much damage across the map. Everybody is just so explosive on Cloud9 at the moment, and just Cold Zero left, and that's going to be that unless he can somehow pull a 1v4 out of the bag with a UMP.
Did he spot Tarek? He has now. And that's going to kill time where Cold Zero doesn't have a kit, and that is going to be the end of that 16-6, a dominant first game from Cloud9 with lots of